we got to get going. Sorry. Hey, first things first. This is my cousin Vince. He is not an atheist.
I knew it.
Okay. But the reason I put him on the hot spot, I asked him this morning. He was coming in here to speak in the Impact class, and I asked him, dude, come out of my classroom, play like you're an atheist. Let's put my students to the test. See if they can, see how they answer and challenge them. And so let me ask you this, bro.
Yeah.
Okay. And part of his story is true. Okay. Part of it is true. And he'll share his testimony here just in a little bit. But give us your take. Did they do a good job, or like, can we work on this?
I've started to feel, because I've been in classes where we brought in atheists in college, and we questioned them and we talked with them. But I heard a common thread as I started talking about who Jesus was, which is, that's what the bottom line is. But then see, they fight. You can't deny the experience. And so, as I kept hearing you talk about it, my next point was going to be, well then, I have the experience with my belief. What makes you believe what you believe? And it comes down to your experience. And I kept hearing, most of you have had that experience where, Jesus touched you. And when you have that, there's no denying, even as you begin to read the Word. But when you feel His love, which atheists have a big problem with, the minute you're kind to them and you're extending and you're just walking in God's love. Because I've seen many in college when I was in the university converted, because we had an Athletes in Action program there. And we were always going after those guys. And so it was just a matter of God's love. But you all answered the questions, but I was making sure going after everybody, because you're going to be put sometimes in a position where at some point in your life, sooner or later, you're going to have to know what you believe. But then again, your testimony, that alone, oh my God, nobody can take that away from you, because you know that God touched your heart, touched your life, and no atheist or no person can ever take that away from you. But the Word, that blows everything out of the water. So I know what is being taught here is solidifying your beliefs. If you haven't had the experience, get ready, because you're with my cousin Ed. He'll preach you there.
Let me ask you this, bro. You have a singular. We've grown up in the church. Okay. We've known the church since we were out of our mother's womb. Okay. On the pew. And but each of us, and I even speak for myself too, there's a time where I was like, forget God, forget church. And I'm sure that we've all been there. Okay? But we've come to that place where it's like, you know what? I'm sick and tired of mom and daddy's religion, and I want nothing to do with it. We've been there. And just real briefly, bro. I know that I'll let you discern, but we got about 10 minutes.
Okay.
Just share your story with them, because Vince's testimony is powerful. And I remember when I first heard it, when he shared it with us, it was powerful.
Yeah.
And God really did a change in Vince's life, and now he's opened up the door for other opportunities. We talk about impacting the marketplace. We talk about using the gifts that God has given us to go into the marketplace.
That's right.
That's what he's doing.
Yeah.
And that's what's really cool about to see what God's been doing in Vince's life in the last 20 years or so here.
Yeah.
So real briefly, bro.
I grew up playing baseball. Grew up in a Christian church and in the house. My dad, mom were Christians, and went to Christian school, but I was the one that wasn't real connected as far as like some of you are in here, and I admire you for keeping your beliefs, because I wasn't the one holding on to the Bible, and I was like, God's gonna have to show me, because you know what, I'm hearing all this and it's all good, but you know what, I don't feel anything. And I had an experience after high school, after college. I had already went to the University of Nebraska, and I already had some of those atheistic beliefs, and so it was getting to be a little difficult for me opportunity where the Word of God is solidified in your life. Because when you get out into the marketplace, into universities, junior colleges, the mindset of the world, it can easily suck you right in if you don't know the Word and why you know the Word. And I almost got into the career. I was ready to go, ready to sign contracts, and I was scheduled to come with the Brewers. But even after that, I had an opportunity, but I didn't because I'll tell you in a second. But after college, I came home. I started going out clubbing. It was my thing, going out to clubs, parties, drinking, just doing the crazy thing. One time I went out. Before I went out, I had to go see my grandfather. And my grandparents, and they were ministers, but I didn't go see them because of that, because they were just my grandparents. So I go visit my grandparents before I go out. And so I stopped by, and this one time my grandfather told me, you go out. He goes, he knew I was going out. You go out, don't put down your drink. Remember that. Don't put down your drink and leave it and come back. Well, I go out that night, go into a club. Matter of fact, it was Halloween night. I go out to a club. We're dressed up. We're partying in the club. I get in an argument with the girl I was going out with. And, I get into the nightclub, and we had an argument. It was just ugly in the nightclub. And I'm like, forget this. She's like, forget you. I put my drink down. And little did I know, she had put something in my drink. Okay? And I ended up drinking it. And, I said, I was getting tired of the arguing, so I left the club, got in the car, went home, a friend of mine. Matter of fact, we had to take her home and her friends, and I was so mad. We said, we were dropping you off. We ain't even taking you home. So we dropped them off. I get home that night. I end up, that's Halloween night. The next morning, it was like 2, 3 in the morning, I started having these breathing attacks. I couldn't breathe. And I was like, what the heck is going on? And I stopped breathing, so my parents called the ambulance, because I crawled into the hallway, kind of banged on their door, and they saw me on the ground. I'm just gasping for air, so they take me to the ambulance, take me to the hospital. I get to the hospital, and I'm breathing. By the time I get into the emergency and they take me in, they put the pipes in my throat and my oxygen, I'm breathing normal again. I couldn't figure out what was going on. Doctor's like, you know what? You just had some kind of breathing attack. I said, no, come on. There's something wrong with my lungs, my throat, everything closed up. So, following week, same thing happened. Again, Tuesday night, about 2, 3 in the morning, it happened again. Well, this time, we're not going to that hospital, we're going to another hospital, because these dumb doctors don't know what's going on. So I go to the UC Davis Hospital, same thing happened. They don't know what's going on. So, I had an aunt that was a witch. It was a white witch. That's what she called herself. She calls my aunt, my mom. My mom didn't want to hear it, so she called my Aunt Mary. My Aunt Mary calls my mom and says, somebody's trying to kill Vince. And it got back to my grandparents, which were pastors at that time. They ended up coming to the house. I'm laying in bed because I'm still wheezing. That, after the second attack, I was a lot weaker, and I had that breathing attack. I laying in bed. And as I'm laying in bed, Grandma and Grandpa come up, open up the Bible to James chapter 5. It talks about call the elders of the church, and they'll anoint you with oil, and if you're sick, you shall be healed, and you shall be saved. So he read that scripture over me. I said, whatever, Grandpa, do this. I'm sick of this. I was messed up. My body was shutting down. I felt like I was dying. And it was a demonic attack. I believe now. I saw it. So Grandpa read the scripture. He lays hands on me. Boom. Within that quick, I was breathing normal. I got up out of bed. I tested it. I ran downstairs to see if this was for real. Because I was one of the knuckleheads. He had to test everything God was doing. So I did. I ran downstairs. Boom. Ran back up. Breathing normal. No breathing attacks. My lungs are good. I can feel the air going in and out. And it was that time that I started getting phone calls. So friends are calling me going, do you know who that girl was that you were dating? I'm like, no. I said, she was a black witch. She would always wear black, but at that time, black was in. Like now, Gothic, they wear black hair, they wear black clothes, they wear black, and that was like the in thing. So she had put something in my drink to try and hurt me, basically kill me, but it didn't because my grandparents were praying. So I come out of that situation and I'm in love with God. You can't help but fall in love with God after something like that. So I fall in love with God. I start going to prayer meetings. God starts speaking to me, and I go in. I just launch myself into the Bible school ministry. I'm into the ministry maybe 12 years. No baseball. Listen to this. No baseball. I go, God, I'm giving up whatever you want me to give up, because baseball was my God. I served baseball with the utmost. All right? Morning, afternoon, it was every day, 24/7. So I gave it up for I think it was about 15 years. About 5 years ago, I had went through some pretty traumatic things also. Again, it's like another level. And the Lord spoke to me and said, you know what? He got me a coaching job, basically. I'm coaching baseball at Capital Christian High School. I don't know, you guys play Capital at all? Not this year? Soccer? Because I know it's because it's coaching soccer, but got back into sports. We started out just coaching, but the Lord showed me that baseball is an avenue. Just like it could be a business, it could be an avenue to ministry to people. Well, my first trip, I go to Central America, and I'm doing baseball clinics. I take this missions trip. I'm thinking, I'm going to go down there, we're just going to do this thing. Well, little did I know, the pastor was an ex-minor league player in Central America that wanted to do baseball and wanted to preach. And he had a problem. He goes, I can't do both. I said, why not? Let's do both. I don't know anybody that knows baseball. He didn't know because I didn't tell anybody I did baseball. So next thing I know, I'm converging with this guy, and I'm telling him, let's just do clinics. I know how to do everything. I've done it for years because I used to run baseball clinics in college and do all that. Now I do baseball clinics around the world. We're getting ready to go to Japan, matter of fact, Ed. I'm leaving in about 4 weeks to go to Japan to do baseball clinics. Now, I don't go to the churches. Now, I meet pastors. They connect me with a little league guy, with a major league guy, with a minor league guy, and the red carpet just rolls out. I am not kidding you. Every country I've gone in, I've met the mayors of cities. I've met governors of states. It's just one of those things that God is using in the marketplace that if I were just a preacher, those doors wouldn't open. And I went to the Dominican Republic last year, and we're sitting down having meetings. I'm going to go in my next class, and I'm going to be talking about it, meetings with the mayor, talking about baseball, and all of a sudden he stops in the middle of my thing and says, you must believe, you must be a believer. And he says, can you pray for me? So I stop, and he's like, yeah, let's pray, man. Let's lay hands on you, bless your mayorship, let's bless your staff, let's get everybody in here. We started having like a little prayer meeting in his office. He's crying, breaking down, all because of baseball. And baseball was just the avenue that God used. Like for some of you, I feel like some of you in here, you're business people. You're going to own a business someday that's going to teach you. And God will use it to open up the door so that you can get to the hearts of people. Because their God and their heart could be that business that you're doing. And I walk into these countries, I've been to now these are top baseball of the world. We're talking Japan, Dominican Republic, okay, South Korea. I got invited to go there now. And it's just because of baseball. God's using baseball. So, I ended up, I got to give God the glory, but I thank God for everything I went through. Good or bad, it didn't compare to what God has in store for us. The things that we suffer on earth, Steve, nothing. It doesn't even compare to the glory that we're going to have someday with Christ when He comes back. You believe that?